The forbidden holds an allure unlike the merely remote. Cuba, 100 or so miles from Florida, might as well be another planet.
The wars of independence and the revolution have taken its toll on Cuba, but they have also empowered it with a national identity like no other. Cuba is not defined by the U.S. embargo that has contributed to its woes since 1958, but it is certainly scarred by it. Fidel Castro's shadow, ever looming, is fading. Change is in the air.
Yes, everywhere you look you can see the retro cars and beautiful but crumbling colonial architecture. But if you look a bit deeper, around a corner, behind a closed door, there's something much more vibrant, much richer at work. A social tapestry and culture that transcends political and economic conflict. A people striving to connect to the world. Cuba is a labyrinth of texture and color. Everywhere we go is a photograph waiting to be taken.
We're struggling to find Chaiki, our contact for Los Datway, a Cuban dance group. Our lack of phones and internet, another product of the embargo, doesn't help. But as we turn down a central Havana side street, our destination becomes clear. Los Datway was started in 2015 by Chaiki with just a few friends from the barrio. They have since risen to some fame on Instagram.
But being digital creators in Cuba is hard. The internet is barely a decade old here, so uploading content takes forever. Getting paid by social media companies due to the embargo laws can take even longer, if you can find a way to do it at all.
Chaiki and Chameleon take us into a neighborhood residence turned studio, art collective, and practice space. There we met Osmar, the choreographer, and some of the dancers. The vibrance and optimism of youth abounds.
Director.
You're the director.
Filmmaker.
Coreógrafo.
Y ustedes son amigos desde niños. Everyone known each other since you were little. Del barrio. No, ya hablas inglés muy bien.
When we were filming out there, there were people just coming through on motorcycles.
We're filming, the children are playing,
Yeah, they're playing
the
football.
transit.
And the people in the barrio, they like that you do this in the streets?
Sí, que si la gente del barrio
Nos apoyan.
So they support you guys on this, yeah. So what did they think about the group?
Nosotros somos como el alma de la cuadra.
You're the soul of the barrio. No, it sounds like it's a big success because everyone seems to love you guys.
En ocasiones, no sé si ahorita pudieron ver que había muchos
So you'll let the young kids come in and they enjoy it as well and they
que cuando crecen entran a...
so maybe years later these little kids become those kids, the reserve. Yeah, that's awesome.
That's really
good. So what makes Cuban music or Cuban dance different than Puerto Rican, Brazilian?
Sandunga.
Yeah.
Una sandunga que, o sea, los otros géneros musicales de otros países latinos no están mal, pero ya la de nosotros...
Político.
Sí. No,
Azúcar!
You love music from other Latin places, and it's all good, you say. It's all good.
So what does sandungo mean, though?
Sandunga is like...
Sandunga.
It's like...
Rolly, ¿no?
Sandunga.
Oh, that's sandunga.
How many people are in the group?
17 bailarines,
Yeah.
pero también tenemos que incluye en filmmaker, de los
So
videos.
17 dancers, but you have
En
producers,
general.
filmmakers. ¿Cómo se llama ella?
Irene.
Irene.
Habla.
Irene. Are you from this barrio? ¿Vienen de ese barrio? Tampoco, ¿no?
Del cerro.
El cerro y el cerro.
Ah, okay, both of you, yeah. From the same neighborhood.
Anderson.
What barrio, what neighborhood do you come from? 10 de octubre. Oh, really? Finally, someone from here. Everyone else de afuera, pero tú eres de aquí, ¿no?
Pero, ¿te refieres?
El barrio, él te dice el barrio.
My name is
So everyone is like friends. Everyone is
Yes.
amigo.
We are like a family, you know?
You can tell that you spend a lot of time together.
Ensayamos todos los días.
Okay.
Todos los días de Monday. ¿Y cómo se dice viernes?
Friday.
Friday.
Friday. Y los sábados.
And Saturday.
El Saturday. Film.
Sunday, yeah.
Film. Y los domingos, show por la noche.
Monday through Friday you practice. Saturday you film. Sunday you have a show.
And who did all this great art on the back?
¿Quién hizo los grafitis?
Varios artistas.
Various artists.
Este lo hizo Fabián. Fabián, Fichu, Fabián igual.
Why is what you do, why is it important? ¿Por qué esto lo que hacen ustedes es importante for you
Es
guys?
importante para nosotros. Porque nos gusta, ¿sabes? Nosotros, a veces cuando estamos en la casa que tenemos que descansar,
So it's first and foremost, it's most important for you first, and then it's for everyone, but for you first.
Sí.
So
Yeah.
important for you and then important for the community.
Guys, it's amazing. Okay, gracias.
Gracias.
Los Datway is using the art of dance to try and reach out to the world. Now we're going to meet someone who's bringing the world to Cuba.
Welcome to the San Isidro Arts District in the historical center of Old Havana. We took a walk through the old neighborhood with Adon Paragoria.
Adon is a musician, entrepreneur, and restaurant owner. His Urini Havana sits on top the Goria Workshop and Gallery, a community gallery and neighborhood workshop for the arts.
Adon is working with artists from all over the world to create an arts district and revitalize a once vibrant neighborhood decimated by the closing of the commercial port less than a kilometer away.
And these have always been like a port neighborhood, right? You know, all the warehouses are like blocks from here. So you have all these used to be warehouses.
Okay.
They legalized prostitution in the beginning of the century, of last century, to be able to control it.
Right.
When the Republic began, then after the revolution, that all the businesses stopped in the port and everything. A lot of people started living here, and then the neighborhood changed. And this is the historical center of Havana.
Right.
But this part doesn't have very important building for the historical office to restore. That's when we came with the idea to present this neighborhood and transform it through art.
And I already see a lot of art around.
That was everywhere you look, yeah.
This is a graffiti artist from the US that is very, very famous in Miami, specifically.
What's up, man? ¿Todo bien? Todo bien. Gracias. Hola.
So this is all the murals that we made. We made festivals every year, and then we change the murals because we don't have more walls. So we are changing the big walls. We have to change it every year.
Really? Yeah.
You know, it's like being in a gallery for street art.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Yeah.
These have been here for 2 years, 3 years, but normally all the other ones are from last year.
Talk a little bit about this
This
tree.
tree is right now the oldest ceiba that is in the historical center. It has more than 150 years old. And this is a very important tree for the Afro-Cuban religion. So this is like the tree of Mother Nature. So for example, every time that the city have a birthday, they all walk around the Ceiba for luck, for good luck for the next year.
This is like nature's art.
Yeah, nature's art, totally. Here is Fabian, 2 + 2 = 5, that you must have seen in the city.
Seen all around the city, yeah.
Yeah, he's an amazing Cuban artist, street artist that have been working with us for a long time. And this is Mr. Mil, that is the one that is in the other side. That is one of the first muralists.
These are incredible. I can't imagine.
World class. What is the community like? I mean, the art community.
Cuba have changed a lot, especially in the past 10 years. The first thing that I think that changed Cuba is the access to internet. Right now, everyone is connected. That was something that we dream about it, and that changed for good and for bad and for everything that made the internet change in the country. You know, so we have so much talent in the island that we are trying to promote that young talent, because normally here, for example, you don't have a market for selling art, so it's difficult to be an artist without selling.
What was the vision, and then really what has actually happened?
This neighborhood is like, it was not growing as fast as the other part of Havana, because we thought that the only way to transform this neighborhood was through art.
Are you kind of finding that the community is accepting these?
So I have been living here for 10 years almost, and it's like my neighborhood also. So everyone at the first is like, they don't know what is happening, but then the people love what we have done, and they love the art. Whenever artists come here and stay here, they are very warm welcome from the neighborhood.
Man, I love the stories it's telling.
Yeah, and they are telling a lot of Cuban stories, you know, and feel identified with a lot of the things that are put in the walls, you know.
Where are we at in the process? Are we halfway done?
No, we're still like 10, 20% or less, you know, of the dream that we want to build here.
Because did they view you as an artist? Did they view you as a community activist?
It's a mix, I think, because I'm an artist also. I study piano, and I have a band with my brother. So we have played a lot here in the street for free for everyone. On the other side, that I have the restaurant there, and I have a lot of people working with me in the restaurant and in the project that are from the neighborhood. So it's like I have a very a complicated vision about me, I think, because it's like a messy, you know. They cannot really know exactly what we do, you know. This is a shirt that is right now in reconstruction, but inside all the walls and the ceiling, everything is hand painted.
I noticed there's one bar down here.
This is Jíbaro. Oh, there is one of the owners right there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you want to look
Let's go say hi.
Let's go say hi.
Hola, buenas, Diego. Mucho gusto. Hola, ¿cómo estás?
I could say that my hair is a little bit.
Oh, awesome. Congratulations.
2017, so we're actually, our background is not like in hospitality. I'm nuclear engineer and he's an economist.
So you just had a bad idea and you said one day too many mules and you said, let's do this idea. Adon's friends are like him, navigating the complex issues of private enterprise in Cuba, where most things are still state-owned and run. Entrepreneurs have to stick together. So of course we had a drink, and they even made a mocktail for Craig. With a big smile.
After a brief tropical rain, we settled in back at the bar of Urini, Havana, and Adon explained where the name Urini comes from.
This is the name of a very famous character from the Havana from the beginning of the last century. He was a guy that used to be a pimp, and he was killed here in the corner of the street.
Yeah.
It's like 50 meters from here. He was Cuban. And
the
the other part that ran the prostitution here in the area was from France.
Yeah.
So they have a dispute about one prostitute that he fell in love, and then they kill each other at the same time because of that woman.
I think it talks a little bit about the changes of this neighborhood.
It's also where our Apostol Nacional Jose Marti was born.
Oh yes,
So
that's
it's
interesting.
Yeah.
Like 100 meters from here is his house.
Why is Jose Marti so important?
Jose Marti was like the thinker of Cuba, you know, justice, equality for everyone. Like, he was a great thinker, and he participated in the wars in Cuba. He was killed in the last war.
And this space here hasn't always been like this.
No. So I started here when I was 17 years old in the making the holes to put cement to be able to grow the columns, and I got up to here.
So far, so good. I don't know how much higher you need to get, but this is amazing. You've gone into an area that overall wasn't the most visible, and yet almost now is starting to become one of the most visually interesting places in the whole city.
Yeah, the idea was to be able to transform through art the neighborhood, you know, to give a light through the art. And I think that art have the power of transformation in people and society and in architecture and everything, you know?
Yeah.
So where did that come from? You said you started at 17?
Yeah, because this is a period that I have with my father. My father, I think, that is the one that have given us, me and my brothers and my whole family, a vision to, you know, work and try to transform with art. So my father is an actor and a movie producer and a director and a painter, and so he's always trying to help, and that's his vision, and that's what he has passed to us.
You and your three brothers, all of you kind of are inside of the arts, and you guys are close as a family.
Yeah.
You studied piano. It's maybe not that big of a leap to say we're going to create a space where this can happen, where people can convene, where community can happen.
And we are very connected to music. We make like 2 or 3 concerts a week in the restaurant. And we have the DJs, you know, the new music scene also. We try to promote the alternative part of art in Havana, you know, not mainstream art.
How important is this community versus other communities inside of Havana?
We give it visibility to this park and the visibility of the potential that this park can have, you know? Because no one wanted to invest here, and you can change that through innovative ideas or creative space of art.
Is that a metaphor for Havana overall?
Totally, I think so.
It's interesting because you were talking earlier I think we can pay with cryptocurrency, right?
Yeah, we can pay with Bitcoin.
Bitcoin, totally.
They pull out that. I'm fresh out of
Crypto
Bitcoin.
wallet.
I would not, honestly, I would not have imagined that.
For the embargo laws, they doesn't allow us to like use banks, other places. So it's difficult, the financial system for the private sector here in Havana. And cryptocurrency is outside of that.
Like you say, the internet comes, there's a desire to connect not only the community inside, connect with the rest of the world externally. Cubans are resilient and innovative. It feels like they'll always find a way.
Always. I think that we are in a very interesting point right now because there have been some new opportunities for the private sector, and I think that when they let us do one thing, we do two. So I think that the Cuban way of thinking is going to promote a lot more change.
When you think about the future, you feel optimistic.
I feel that everything is for doing here. So that saying that we have a lot of opportunities here, but opportunities are not for everyone. You know, you have to find your way in it. To create a business is difficult anywhere. Here is different, still difficult and different.
Yeah.
So
One thing we know in life is that everything changes, right?
totally.
Figuring out what the changes need to be and then addressing those. I think that's really...
Totally, that's the thing. I mean, see the opportunities and grab it.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean, if I was to go into business with somebody, I want somebody that is not afraid to do hard things and complicated things. And that, I think that's the brand.
And it's not easy to explain to my friends.
No,
you know?
yeah. Well,
I don't try to explain even to myself, you know, I just try to keep going and find my ways and try to do it, you know.
from the outside, you can't tell what this is here.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of Havana, you know, there's behind the door, there's something.
Everything can happen there.
Everything happens
anything
behind the
and
door.
everything. Yeah. I would say, cheers. Thank you for inviting us in and for your success. We had just enough time for sunset cocktails on the roof as the band started to set up. Oh, nicely done. Wow, with the dragon and everything.
As the music began, the restaurant, completely empty before, filled up with a mostly foreign crowd. Many Cubans simply can't afford the extravagance of a private restaurant.
Our last stop for the night was La Carpinteria, where our very own fixer and translator Gabby was hosting what was likely one of the first drag king shows in Havana.
La Carpinteria is an event space in downtown Havana and attached to Clandestina, a fashion brand and store started by a lesbian couple and now a hub for the LGBTQ community.
I've never actually seen a drag king show, ever.
You're gonna kick this off
And I'm gonna
tonight.
kick it off, and I'm
Yes.
gonna be in it. I've never done
Yes.
drag in my life, but yeah.
You nervous?
A little bit, yeah. But it's like a good nervous.
Yeah, I mean, you're part of the community. You know these people. You guys are all friends.
Yeah, so I think the best thing about this is that we have like all ages and kind of like all backgrounds. So we actually have 4 drag kings who have experience, are the ones that have done it underground. And so we're pairing them with a bunch of new people like me who have never done it before, a little bit younger. So we have a bunch of like really famous salsa songs and like boleros and like this romantic music mixed with reggaeton. And like I'm singing a song by Bruno Mars. I had to bring in, something from the US just to, kind of dip into that.
So you're Cuban American, but you really identify as Cuban.
I really appreciate the fact that I have these different cultures that, kind of dictate like my personality and my background and my history. And
How is the LGBTQ community viewed here in Cuba?
it's like a pretty tight-knit community, and I think everyone is always like really willing to just support each other. I play on an all-women's soccer team. There's a lot of gay spaces in Havana, and so I think we're trying to uplift like a more inclusive space for like just more people. And I think just Cuban culture in general is so warm and so inviting, and just there's a lot of camaraderie between everyone, and that just seeps into the queer community, just by default.
How is it in terms of identity for you personally?
So Cuba in general is machista, there is a lot of sexism, I think, all over Latin America, but I think I just get catcalled, for example, more for being a woman than for being a lesbian, and there are a lot of spaces here that try to uplift the queer community, and so honestly, I don't feel like in danger, or in pressure or anything to be being a lesbian.
I mean, if there's one thing that we've noticed is there is a lot of diversity, and it feels like there's a lot of mixtures of cultures and identities and things like that in Cuba. I mean, that's one of the things that feels like are really being celebrated in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But doing something like this, which is still pretty brave, I mean, what does this represent?
Bringing into the spotlight people that have been doing this for years, that have not garnered enough attention, or that are not at the level of like drag queens, and then just showing that there's more to drag in general than just men dressing up as women in dresses, or there's a lot more to that culture. And
It's a celebration, right?
It is a celebration. Yeah, drag is a celebration.
I mean, in the U.S., though, drag queens have gotten so much attention, but the drag king idea?
Yeah, even in the U.S., it's really difficult to
Well,
see a
honestly,
drag
I'd
queen
never
show.
heard of it before. I mean, honestly, I never have. And we spend a lot of time kind of around different communities and stuff like that. The fact that we're actually doing it right here in Havana, potentially for one of the very first times in here, I mean, it feels like we're lucky.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. And I feel super lucky to be a part of it, and I think y'all are gonna have a really good time. So, yeah, I'm super
We
excited.
can't wait. This is going to be good.
It's gonna be real good.
Don't screw it up.
Ah, I won't.
We had ideas about Cuba when we came here, but it's safe to say we were blown away by the ingenuity, optimism, and creativity of the incredible people we met.
The more we connect and engage with the people of Cuba, the richer everyone's world becomes.